are we being a bit mean-spirited on visas, do you think? I wonder, a 75-year-old woman living now in a basement in the capital here, who has her son living in London, can she go and join him?
In terms of the question of visas and Ukrainians, the Home Secretary has set out the plans for a bespoke humanitarian scheme for Ukraine, allowing up to 100,000 to come here. The dependents of British nationals in the UK, the dependents of Ukrainians living in this country. And I think that's the right way to approach, and it follows the wider action.
But how does the 75-year-old woman, sorry to interrupt you, but how does the sirens just going off here, but how does the 75-year-old woman living with sirens going off, living in a basement, get to her son who's living in London? Can she do that? Is she able to do that? Because I can't see how she does. How does she go to Lviv, 11 hours drive away, get a visa, and then, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I don't see how she can get to her son in London under the current system.
Well, this is a consistent feature whenever we have humanitarian asylum schemes set up. We know that the difficulties on the ground make it practically very challenging, but we also know that many will get out of Ukraine, those that fleeing through fear, and we need to be ready with our international partners, the Europeans, others around the world.
The EU is saying any Ukrainian can come in. Any Ukrainian can come in for up to 3 years, or certainly extended family members other countries are doing. Why are we not doing more? I mean, that
we've set out.
The point about the 75-year-old woman is a real one.
Yes, but I can't comment on every potential hypothetical case. What I've just set out is the circumstances. And of course, we understand the difficulties of the practical situation on the ground. That's common to most conflict zones, of course. And we recognize that, and we'll work with all of our international partners and the UN to try and resolve that, and to make sure that we continue this tradition of offering safe haven to those fleeing persecution. In relation to the Europeans, of course, they're closer to Ukraine. As the Ukrainian ambassador to the UK said over the weekend, it will often be the case that first priority, most Ukrainians want to stay in Ukraine, but if they leave, they'll want to be as close to their home country as possible in order to be able to come back at some point in the future. So I think
this woman wants to get to see her son in London, but I mean, she doesn't want to go to Poland and stay in Poland. She wants to go and see her son in London.
Sorry, I don't know the facts of the case, but it's clear from what the Home Secretary announced yesterday that we would make that route technically open. Of course, it's very difficult to know how exactly she would traverse the country at that age. But that is the offer the Home Secretary's made. So actually, it directly addresses the scenario you've described.
Okay, Dominic Raab, I appreciate you being with us. We're being slightly distracted here by sirens, but listen, I appreciate your talking to us this morning.
Good to talk to you.